You know me as Mr. Goodrich. You know me as Mr. Goodrich. You know me as Mr. Goodrich. You know me as Mr. Goodrich, the professional mechanic who cares about your GM cars. But your participating GM dealer also has a Mr. Goodwrench who cares at the service write-up desk and in the parts department. We're all over the service department. We're all over the service department, just to be sure your GM car gets Mr. Goodwrench professional care.
You never had it so good.
Keep that great GM feeling
With Mr. Goodwrench.
That's us.
and genuine GM parts.
One hand still. Oh, still. Huh? You say I'm so happy? Yes, I am so happy. I'm so happy. That's good. People like to see me happy in life. Of course. Man, the real Kodak is locked up still. Oh, yes, you did. You did that, fam. The real Kodak is locked up still. The real Kodak is in an island. It's on an island somewhere. But I'm not finna expose nothing. That's just what it is. Of course. Man, the real Kodak is locked up still. Oh, yes, you did. You did that, fam. The real Kodak is locked up still. The real Kodak is in an island. It's on an island somewhere. But I'm not finna expose nothing. That's just what it is.
These are real ones. Alright? Their skin is much darker. And the clones are lighter. These are the clones. The real ones, the clones, the copies. Alright? So these clones are much lighter for the real person, as you can see. So they was cloned a long time ago by Masons. Want to be famous in Hollywood, you will get cloned and chipped and replaced. You see the ears? Latex. It's synthetic. Clone eyes, clone skin. The real person, cloned out. Two mannequins, as you can see, clearly not the same persons. The real ones, these are the clones. More clones and doubles of the real people. Alright, look at the eyes and the skin from the real person. Many faces and skin colors. Duplicates. More clones and copies. Look at that one. To that one. To that one. Cloned out. Again, more doubles of the twins. More doubles. Just a brand to serve products for the Illuminati. Look at that face to that face. To these, to those. Clearly, will replace. You notice the baby eyes are way too blue? That means the baby is a clone. Same as the mother, the nephew, the twins were cloned. Again, lighter. You see that brow ridge? Overall training face and man features? Are these men or what, people? Are they trannies? Again, the eyes look very lifeless and soulless. Synthetic skin. To this one, different person. To that one, different person. Recap. What will place? No denial right now. They were cloned.
So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me? What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take clothes off on TRL? So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy is dismissive. I don't understand this person. So they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
I've suspected for quite some time that Jaden and Willow Smith are cloned versions of their parents. And I was reading this article about how Jaden Smith said he was going to change the world through his gender fluid style. And on the bottom of the article, he talks about his sister in a way that brought to my mind this idea that they are somehow cloned version of their parents. So let me go ahead and read that quote. He says, "But in case you were worried that world peace was too big a task for just one teenager, Jaden's sister, Willow, is basically his other half." And he says, "I'd say it's like full-on sibling brain connection. I'd say that she's definitely the female version of me, 100% in every single way. And I'd say I'm the male version of her. The two Smiths and one world to change, we think they're up to the task. How about you?" So since I started covering Will Smith, and there's just a lot of bizarre behaviors, I have all of the videos about Will Smith in a playlist. So they've been using these two kids for quite a bit of different things. The daughter, Willow, was sexualized at a very young age. I've covered this in many videos. And she is just being exploited. And of course the son is being sexualized in a different way. So both of these kids have been exploited, and they're being used and being puppeted. But what struck me as something that was interesting was that Willow was named after Will Smith, and Jaden was named after Jada Smith. So this is kind of an interesting type of dynamic. Now, I'm always aware of when people name their kids after themselves. I always find that to be something that's really insulting to the child and narcissistic. This idea of naming somebody Junior. You know, this boxer, George Foreman, named his 5 sons, I believe 5 sons, George. He's got 5 boys named George. So you think about that. So these people that name their children after themselves, it's an idea that these kids don't have their own identity. Now, the way to name a child is to listen to, you tune into the child's soul. When the mother is pregnant with the child, the soul is descending in her, it's present in her, and you can tune into the soul and connect to this spirit. And the spirit will communicate the child's identity, and the child will speak his or her name to you. And so this is a way to get in touch with the child and sort of understand them as a human being, because they all have their own purposes and their own destinies. And so you're, as a parent, the best thing you can do is sort of tune into this, something that we're going to have to all develop in the future. But this idea that a child is just an extension of you, so you're going to name it after yourself, is extraordinarily narcissistic, and this child grows up without its own identity. It's just an extension of your narcissistic ego. And that isn't going to make the world a better place at all. I've talked about this in many videos. The ego is the devil. It's the part of you that's the devil, and your soul is the part of you that's God, that's connected to God. The part of himself that God put in you is your soul. And so when you manifest every aspect, every idea, every whim, every little type of part of your personality, today I'm a man, today I'm a woman, today I want to dress like this narcissistic idea of just being a fashion statement, like Jaden Smith is a fashion statement, thinking about what you wear, thinking about how you look, thinking about all this stuff, is just a superficial expression of your ego, and it only adds to more division and selfishness in this world. It's a disease that particularly plagues rich people in rich nations who have too much resources and time on their hands, and they try to adorn themselves with all kinds of superficial things, and they're just a manifestation of their ego, and they forget about God, and they become selfish and narcissistic and egotistical. So this idea that Will Smith was name his daughter after himself, and the mother would name their son after herself, I always found to be very interesting. But I've done a lot of videos recently about cloning. I'll leave a link in the description box to my most recent one, because I feel it proves without a doubt, if you understand the mentality of the controllers, they have the technology and they've been cloning people for quite some time. Now with this gender fluid movement and making people like this is a female version of Will Smith and a male version of Jada Smith. So think about that, what that means in this whole movement. There's a lot of different aspects to this. And first of all, we know from one of the Star Wars movies, I think it's the Clone Wars movies, that Boba Fett was raised by his father, who was he was a clone of this person. So this guy raised his own clone as his son. So this is something we see reflected in science fiction, which we know a lot of things that are in science fiction are things they're either working on or they already have the technology to do. So how many of these people are just raising mini versions of themselves out of this narcissistic desire to keep their genetic line, to keep their self, to keep a version of themselves alive through eternity? This is one of the ways to reach more immortality, is to create clones of yourself and just keep doing this generation after generation. Your clones creating more clones. So this idea of parents raising their own clones, but raising them as an opposite sex. Now, I've already talked about how they can do this in utero, how they could take a clone version and they just put administer testosterone at the right time or withhold testosterone at the right time and change the sex of the child. So I believe this is what's happened here with the Smith family. There's a lot of aspects to this. If there's any sort of price to pay through the secret societies, the Freemasonic societies, the Satanic societies, they want to have you sacrifice something. Well, instead of giving up something of yourself, now you have these cloned versions that can pay the price for you. So this is one aspect of why they would have clones, besides the narcissism, besides the sexual fluidity agenda that seems to be their number one social norm that they're trying to create, their number one social movement right now. And this makes a lot of sense why Will Smith is always trying to make out with Jaden Smith. He's not trying to make out with Willow Smith. He's trying to make out with Jaden Smith, because this is his male version of his wife. And you think about all this, because we know, I've talked about this in previous videos, he slaps some guy who tries to make out with him. He knows it's wrong. Some reporter tries to kiss him on the mouth, and he backhands him, and then had to sort of apologize and talk about it. And he's doing this to his son on a regular basis, an older teenage boy, because he's possibly a younger version or a male version of his wife. So you think about the madness here. And again, they have the technology to do it, and they clearly are obsessed with this this sexual fluidity type consciousness. It's something they're pushing really hard right now. There's a reason for this. Why are they keep on rolling this out? I think the majority of people are just like, stop, enough of this. No one cares about this. Why do you guys keep on making a big deal? Put on a pair of pants and just stop. Just stop this. We don't want to see it anymore. We're not interested in it. Stop trying to force this down our throats all the time. All right, so this is just a few thoughts on this. I'll probably do a follow-up video. I'll leave a link in the description box to my transhumanist videos and to the video about cloning, my recent video about cloning, because they can do it. So this is something they can do. It's really, would they do it? And by all measurable standards, it appears that they not only would do this, but they really, really want to do this. They really want to raise versions of themselves. They want to have cloned versions of themselves hanging around. This is part of the controller's agenda. It's an Illuminati type mentality because it's an extension of egoism. Cloning is the ultimate expression of Satanism, where there's no God but thyself. You're a God in your own self, and you're creating another God. Your ego is your God. Your own ego is your God. You worship your own ego. And in that egoism, the ultimate manifestation of that egoism is to create another person just like yourself. This is how these people think. This is how these Satanists think. They think that they're gods, and when they create another version of themselves, they're creating another God. So think about this, thinking about the mentality here, and these are the people that right now are in control of our planet.
The clones of Kris Jenner. Yeah, Kris Jenner and her family was replaced with replacements. You see the synthetic skin, the Barbie doll eyes, and the eyes are flawed. Alright, the eyes are messed up. You see it? That's clone 1. That's clone 2. A different one from the first one I just showed you right there. See it? Down to the skin. Alright? That's clone 2. Looks much darker from the first one I showed you right there. It's a fake person. A lab rat, a artificial human. They are replacements, man. That's clone 3. Alright? Different one. Looks much lighter. You see the fake eyes, the fake skin. Yeah, it's a fake person. That's clone 4. Alright, you see the messed up eyes, zombie eyes. That's the first one. Clone 2, clone 3, clone 4. Yep. Not one person. Clone 5, a different one. So, these clones all on TV. You see the fake skin? Yep. Different one. So, Kris Jenner is a clone, alright? Not a person. It's fake. Again, you see that long neck? You see the fake skin, the big ears? It's a fake person, you hear me? You see the fake eyes on this fake person? Many faces? You see it? So, Kris Jenner is a clone. Look at that. Different one. Down to the fake skin. With no pores in it. Way too clear. Looks very young. You see the clone eyes? It's a fake person. Many faces. You see it? Kris Jenner is a clone. Look at that skin and that fake hair. Yeah, the skin looks like latex and very rubbery. You see the glass plastic eyes on this creep creature, zombie. So, Kris Jenner was replaced. Alright? Look at those eyes. Look at that long neck because clones get long necks. Okay? Look at that. Yep. So Kris Jenner was replaced with a clone imposter, duplicate, a copy of the original person. Alright, peace. You see the latex skin, the latex breast area, the skin. Cardi B is a clone, but this video we're going to focus on the mannequins of this Illuminati sellout. So it's a synthetic mannequin of Cardi B. Alright? Let's focus on those eyes that's gone and lifeless. It's a 100 mannequin. Another mannequin of Cardi B. This is clear as day. You see it right there on the eye? It's a flawed. And these eyes are gone. They are 100 soulless and lifeless. And this is another Dow. Alright? It's all fake. Another Dow clone mannequin with that long neck. Alright? Adam's apple is right there too. So it's a clone mannequin tranny. Alright? You see that ridge? Alright? Clone transvestite. Alright? Mannequin. Alright. That's Anne-Marie. And that's Kourtney Kardashian. And they share the same DNA independent. The bolt is lightning bolt. Luke 10:18 is evil. So Anne-Marie, that's Anne-Marie. That's Kourtney Kardashian. You see the same facial features? Same forehead? You see the same chin area? So these are both clones and synthetics. That's Anne-Marie. Much darker to that one much lighter. And Kourtney Kardashian, a different version of Kourtney to that one, to that one. So these are both clones with the same DNA, made by Satan, workers, the Illuminati, Anne-Marie, Kourtney Kardashian, same DNA. That's Anne-Marie. So from that to that to that, many faces. Anne-Marie, Kourtney Kardashian, that's a different Kourtney from that one to that one. All different clones. There's Kourtney again, different one from that one to that one from that one. Okay, so many faces. That is Anne-Marie, a different Anne-Marie from that one to that one to that one. And the scar to that scar to that scar to that one is a clearly different person. There's Kourtney again. Anne-Marie, this one look Chinese. It's a Chinese version of Anne-Marie. So, see the face now. Same DNA. And these are all both clones, synthetics, duplicates. Who was that? That's Anne-Marie. Go back. Look closely. Anne-Marie. Who was that? Anne-Marie. It's a clone. Anne-Marie, the place. Anne-Marie before, that's the after. When they come out lighter like that, that means they was clone with place. Yeah, see those eyes are too white. Clearly, Anne-Marie, this one is a mannequin. Again, that's Anne-Marie again, and that's Anne-Marie, and that's a mannequin. Clearly, soulless eyes, mannequin skin, clone nose, not one person. Clearly, this one is a doll. Look at it. It's a doll.
I'm sorry, is there someone talking to you?
Yes, sorry.
Sorry about that. So I just was wondering how everyone's doing. Hello, Courtney, have we lost you?
Oh my goodness. Hello. Ew. Strawberry. Yeah, it was a weird.
Is Dan. This morning, Amanda Bynes denies it all, saying she never tossed anything out through the window. It's a bizarre new case for her growing list of problems, and wait till you see how she showed up in that.
Marshall Mathers. Some of you may know him as Eminem, but he's going to join the Saturday night crew with our music intro starting next Saturday night. But folks, I want to take you to the world premiere of...
You both have experience singing New York, New York. His was at the Slam Dunk Contest. Yours was in Vegas. Yes. We had the show out there. Here's the...
Social media?
No.
That is not Rick Ross.
It's not. It's not Rick Ross.
Of course not.
He a clone. You know, when he caught that case, they cloned, dog. They made a smaller Rick Ross. Same niggas who did, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, they cloned and do.
They cloned you.
Oh.
You don't even know you're not the real Rick Ross.
Oh.
You the skinny Rick Ross.
Hey, handsome.
Hey, babe, I'm a clone.
Yeah, you a clone tonight. Well, you be my clone.
That's right.
Gucci.
Ooh,
Gucci.
That boy Gucci. That boy Gucci. Ooh. Fire.
Where you at? Where you at?
I'm at KFC on Broadway. KFC is finger licking good. Colonel Sanders. Ah! Bow, 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 bow. Like James Brown, like bow, 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 bow. I'm gonna go decent. I gotta take, don't try to take it from him. Don't try to take it from him. Don't try to take it. Bow, bow, bow.
still going the celibacy route and shit, but I went on a date tonight, guys. Awesome. You know, I'm starting to take my time with stuff in life. I'm taking it slow. This lifetime serene, cause you know the world don't favor the vultures. But I'm still on the champagne diet, you know what I'm saying? They ate my little sea bass fish. I'm still dripping like the usual. Still applying pressure on these fuck niggas. Still stepping on these fuck them niggas. And I can never be cloned. I can never be bought. I can never be sold. You hear me? You know I made it out that fire. You know I made it out that fire. I'm gleaming good, see that?
Yeah.
I'm gleaming good like the greatest. Huh?
Bruh, true.
You fucking fall back.
TMZ, put that on the same room. No, listen, I'm putting it on. Put that on. Right here. And find it out of real street nigga in the industry. 26, 13, 6. Barrack County, 954 floors. Real nigga from Florida. Young nigga. 1997. Give it up, baby.